Gentlemen, this is a great opportunity for us to talk about the American Orthodontic Society. Um, I think I think Brad, you have the logo up on your upper right hand corner, and plus the logo behind you really almost tells exactly the kind of orthodontics you do.
Yeah, exactly.
We welcome everyone that has come in to to our first live stream. We thought it would be a great idea to not only introduce the American Orthodontic Society, but if you don't know about us, but American Orthodontic Society also has a college of diplomates um, that, as you have progressed through your series of education with the American Orthodontic Society, you can sit for an extensive uh, diplomate exam and become a diplomate of the American Orthodontic Society, which is not achieved by a tremendous number of people, but we have so many that are working towards it. But it is if you pass that exam, if you are a diplomate of the American Orthodontic Society, there's just about no orthodontic case you can't handle, and that's judged by your peers independently. And I think we're one of the few orthodontic organizations that still has um, a diplomate exam where you have to present cases to your peers for review. We also, in the American Orthodontic Society, we also have the diplomates will sponsor once a year. We will sponsor a spring meeting, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Um, we thought it would be a great idea to be able to sit down with you and talk about this particular spring meeting, which is sponsored by the diplomates themselves. When we first started out with this, it was meant to bring in our members who were actually working towards their diplomate statuses. So this would have was going to be a little bit more intense education at the spring meeting. It has since come to be a little bit intense meeting, or highly educated meeting, but we invite all people who are diplomates and not diplomates to attend. It's going to be held April 21st in Dallas, Texas, at the Embassy Suites, the Hilton uh, Grapevine, which is not too far from the airport, but it's the Embassy Suites at the Hilton Grapevine. Um, Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to just I brought together all of the speakers for the meeting, and we were going to take a couple of minutes each and talk to you about what we'll be speaking at in this 2 day session uh, in um, in Dallas. So let me call on the, the, the hero of the day and the Superman of orthodontics, Dr. Brad Williams, and let him tell us what he's going to be speaking about.
Thanks, Ed. Well, the logo back here that's behind me is supposed to be suggestive of what I'm going to be talking about because the title of my presentation for the spring meeting is Herodonics, Heroic or Stupid, and the throughout the uh, day I'm going to make reference to that heroic or stupid line a lot. Um, I I gave a lot of thought about what I would really like to speak on, and like Ed alluded to, traditionally I think that the spring meeting has been very kind of academic, and I think I'm more clinical, less academic. I don't think you'll have any problems figuring that out. That I'm not an academic. I don't have a ton of reference published articles out there, but I do have about 40 years of orthodontic experience in my clinic, and what I wanted to explore was through basically case reviews, looking at decisions that a lot of us make as orthodontic providers for that matter, just general dentists and pediatric dentists, will jump into cases and make uh, write a treatment plan and jump into a case to try to rescue a patient. They'll rather, for some reason, not be able to afford the best care. Maybe they can't afford the restorative end of it, and so I'm going to jump in there and and fix it all with orthodontics, and that way they won't have to do the implant or they won't have to do the surgery or I'm going to go after this tooth that probably should have been extracted. Um, so that's kind of the gist of it. It should be fun. There's a lot of animation in it. I'm doing. Uh, I have no idea, frankly, how many hours of material I've got. But we're just going to go through case after case and look at decisions I made and whether they were heroic decisions that were worked out to be in the patient's best interest, or were they kind of stupid? And in retrospect, maybe there would have been a lot better uh, line of treatment or a better treatment plan. It's definitely something we all get caught up in while trying to rescue and trying to be the white knight, be the hero. I don't know if that's driven by altruism or if it's driven by ego, but a little bit of both, I suspect. But anyway, that's what I'll be talking about is just heroic or stupid cases. And it ought to be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you, Brad. We know that you've been doing ortho for many, many years, and you're our premier educator in the American Orthodontic Society. He teaches the basic course for the American Orthodontic Society and the intermediate courses as well as premier courses. So he's by far highly attuned to giving lectures and keeping your attention. So I thank you very much, Brad, for giving us that rundown of what your course will be. The next person that's going to be speaking will be Jeffrey Dahm. He happens to be our new president of the American Orthodontic Society. Jeff, are you on there?
I'm ready. I'm here.
Go ahead.
Welcome everyone. It's really great to talk to you, and I'm just super excited about the American Orthodontic Society. It's been part of my life for over 10 years, and it's changed. The people that I've met at the American Orthodontic Society have been relationships that have been life-changing for me, and to be able to learn from each other and help each other, and then also become friends. I just love that about the American Orthodontic Society, and the education that I've learned there from different people has been fabulous. So I'm always proud of the work that I can do and the way I can help patients more, and always look forward to the meetings, which are great because I get to meet old friends and make new friends as well. So I hope that many of you will come and visit our great society and learn with us as we progress. So I'm going to be speaking about mild functional disorders. I'll be speaking for about an hour and a half, so I'll have to go through a lot of material in a really quick way. But what gets me really excited every day in my practice is getting kids breathing, sleeping, and growing. And when I mean that for breathing well, properly, sleeping well, and growing well. And that's just such an exciting thing that we as dentists can do that most medical professionals just cannot do. ENTs don't really understand this to a great degree because the facial growth and development is something that we can understand. When we see mandibles in the wrong place, class twos, we can understand that, and we can understand the effects of that, and we can recognize it. And when we see obstructed airways and mouth breathing and tongue ties, which are all things that we can learn about and we can intercede with, we can have profound effects in our patients' lives. And that just gets me super excited every day. I love that. Taking a child that's heading towards a TMJ problem or chronic sleep apnea, attention deficit problems, and getting them on the right track is just something that I, as a general dentist, and you as general dentists or orthodontists or pediatric dentists, can really do. And not only can we do it, but families are just so grateful. It's just wonderful to see the faces come alive, and kids just doing so great as time progresses. So I'm really excited to talk about that, and I hope you kind of get that. And I hope that we get to meet some new people at our spring meeting. So I'm looking forward to that.
You're a good president of the organization, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
The next person to speak will be Dr. Juan Echeverry. You talk about some orthodontics. This guy can do it. It's amazing some of the things that he has shown us using appliances that he makes himself. So Juan, tell us what you're going to do.
First, I want to say hi to everybody. It's amazing. I saw some of the questions. I'm not sure if Brad has an S on his pajamas or not. Matthew, it's good to have you on the line. I saw you're showing up, same as Daryl Jackson and Christy. Uh, I'm just really excited to be there. Going back on history, I was listening to Ed and to Brad earlier before we started, and it reminded me, Ed, that I came to you with this crazy idea that why didn't we put some lectures while we were doing the renewal and the review course for our diplomates? And we started out in Orlando, and that's when we had this amazing prospect called Dr. Brad Williams come on board and start lecturing with us. So we're going back a long time, and if I remember correctly, I think it was the year 2006. I'm excited about this presentation this year because our idea was let's try to start with Brad taking us through all of his amazing clinical experience. I'm sure that all of us will learn a lot because we learn more by seeing clinical work and what was done, what could have been done, or what was amazing, and we can take it back with us and learn. So I'm looking really forward to that lecture. Then we're going to tie it up with two amazing people talking with very young development. So I think all the pediatric dentists and everybody who has an inclination to do phase one in early treatment should be there because you're going to listen to two amazing speakers between Jeff and Dr. Gonzalez. It's going to be amazing seeing how you start the creation of these mouths and these airways and breathing and taking. So I want to pick it up a little later. I'm going to pick up those. I want to work a lot on transverse development. I've been working really strong through my practice in transfer development because I started seeing all the issues we were having with very crowded airways and very crowded mouths. And so I took a lot of ideas from Dr. Ed Gonzalez and thought, what if I can take them to from that initial phase with my wife, phase one? What happens if I try to bring some of these concepts into a more mature audience, into a late teen, young adult, maybe a little older adult, where we've been told that we can't develop, we can't do transverse growth. And as Dr. Gonzalez knows, my question has never been, you can't. My question is, why can't we? And so I want to bring that to our lecture. I want to show many of the things we have been able to do. If you're curious, I would challenge you to go to our last publication. We showed some of our transverse development of maxilla and mandible and many of these patients. And then I'm going to also tie this and do one more time a review on management of canine impactions because as we saw with Dr. Brad Williams, who's going to talk to us about orthodontics and hierodontics. Anytime we have an impacted tooth, we start going into that realm. And some of these battles I've won, and some I have lost. And I want to share with my colleagues the ones that I've lost. And I would want to look at it looking back. Nothing humbles us more than seeing the cases that basically beat us up and knowing looking back now, I know why, where, what I will not do again, and what I will try to do. So that pretty much will give us, I think, an amazing weekend. All of these speakers I've listened to, I really enjoy, and every time I listen to them, I just get really excited coming back to work on a Monday. Um, so that's what we'll be covering. Dr.
Wonderful.
Gonzalez, back to you.
Thank you very much, Juan. I'm looking forward to your lecture. You always surprise me with things that you've been doing stuck back there in Houston, Texas. And then all of a sudden you come to the meetings and show us these amazing cases that you've done. So we're looking forward to seeing that. Well, I'm Ed Gonzalez, and I'm going to be speaking about stop point orthodontics. Now, that sounds strange, but the way I over the past 40 years, I've developed a method of treating kids from an early age, starting as early as 3, 4, and 5, and actually getting started with early treatment orthodontics at around 6 or 7, and completing the early treatment portion of the case within 1 year. And then we call it stop point. At that point, we stop the treatments that we're doing. We still have primary teeth in the mouth. We have nicely aligned upper front teeth and lower teeth. We have a nicely developed upper jaw and lower jaw. And we put them in space maintainers, what I call this space maintainers touching all teeth, which keeps the width available. And then we just leave the patient alone and let them develop. As the primary teeth come out and the new permanent ones come in, then we will start our second phase of treatment. But remember, when we've done that, there's not going to be any crowding whatsoever in our second phase of treatment. If there is the need for movement of molars, we can easily do that. And I'll show you techniques that we use to be able to dislodge molars. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. It's going to be an exciting ability for us to show you what we do and in our daily practice, and we're continuing to develop new techniques and new methods of treatment using some of the most futuristic type of appliances. On that same weekend, let me just put a little plug in here. The Diplomates review course. In another room in that same weekend is what we call the Diplomates review course. This is a course given by 6 different people, 6 different lectures that will go over the book knowledge that's necessary to do orthodontics. This will help the individuals who are going to be sitting for the diplomate exam the ability to get into the book part of learning orthodontics. And these lectures will be given very distinct and definite answers to certain questions that will be given or asked in their written exam. So those of you who are interested in becoming diplomates, this is one of the courses that you'll have to attend to be able to get the information you need for that. It's going to be happening on April 21st and 22nd, and it's the exact same hotel. I told you where it was. It was at the Embassy Suites, Grapevine, on the 21st and 22nd of April. Should be very easy to get to because it's right there next to the airport. And we're looking forward to seeing you, and thank you for attending our quick review of what we're going to be talking about at the April meeting. If anybody has any questions about it, you can type them in, or I see no questions, but a lot of comments, which is great. Thank you so much for attending.
We had one question come in, and that was, if you haven't attended the spring meeting before, what's it like? What should they expect? What would it be like for a new doctor?
Well, basically, you just have to register. I think you can probably you can register by calling 972-234-4000. 972-234-4000. once you're registered for the course, it's given at this particular hotel in a big room, and we'll just go. Each speaker will have half a day, basically, and then in the afternoon, another speaker will be lecturing. The next day, the same thing. So it's typical of any of the other courses that you might attend. So it's nothing special as far as the way we give it, other than the amount of information that's being dispersed to you all.
Ed, could I make a comment on that?
Sure.
I think that you got several advantages. If you walk in and you're taking, I mean, we're not charging separate, there's not a separate charge to go either to one lecture room or the other. So if you just feel like you have the information in the review course that you're listening and you just think, hey, I want to listen to Dr. Gonzalez or to Dan, or you want to jump to Dr. Williams and you want to listen to his lecture, you can. In other words, we're not going to make it a mandatory attendance in the review course. I wish I would have, I personally, when I was starting off, I wish I would have jumped in and seen the review courses. I do know that once we started doing our additional lectures on the side, I have been very excited every single time to go to the spring meeting, because we tend to bring out amazing information in each one of these spring meetings. And it's going to be cool. So Dallas, when the weather's not too hot, is nice. We can enjoy it. So that would be my 2 cents of show up, come, and you're gonna have a whole bunch of people who, if you have any questions, bring cases. We love talking orthodontics. It's a whole bunch of us, very nerdy, who love to help each other, and we're just dying to help you get going on this. So come on in and have a good time with us.
Great. Thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you in Dallas on April 21st and 22nd. Thanks.